Welcome, folks, and welcome to yet another episode of Aspire to Inspire. I am so thrilled to be able to highlight such a multi-hyphenate individual in this industry, making moves, creating stories for herself, LaNisa Frederick. So, LaNisa, correct? Or LaNisa?
Because we from the South. And
One more time for me.
well, I say LaNisa, and it is LaNisa, but my family, if you ask them, they're like, "Oh, it's LaNisa," and I'm like, "That's just
LaNisa.
country." But it is. I asked my mama; she said it's LaNisa, but
LaNisa.
just to be country.
No worries. No, but real quickly, oh my God, LaNisa Frederick, I'm just going to highlight your bio real quickly, just so everyone can get a gist of who you are and what you do in this business real quickly. For our folks who are tuning in, she is a Los Angeles-based actor, writer, podcast host, and voiceover artist who sits at the intersection of comedy, culture, and lived experience. Nonetheless, her credits include projects such as Shifting Gears, NCIS, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and a Black Lady sketch show, and is a series regular on Jury Duty Season 2 coming to Amazon Prime. So excited to dive in and talk about that. Nonetheless, she is the co-creator of the viral Instagram sketch series, #books, such a huge fan of that platform, and also the creator and host of the breakout comedy podcast, Black and CULTivated. Emphasis on cult, might I add. But real quickly, I would love to start off this interview just allowing yourself to welcome yourself to this amazing platform, but also giving us a background of where does your love for storytelling begin? I know acting's in there, but you are a storyteller. You're an artist at heart. So please take us through that journey, and we're all ears. I'm so grateful to be chatting with you.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate that. I'm so glad that we got to connect a little bit when we were at Sundance. Because what an amazing experience and adventure in storytelling that was in itself. But yes, for your audience, depending on where you're from, it's LaNisa Renee Frederick. But if you, my country cousins, then is LaNisa. But yes, LaNisa Renee Frederick. I'm a Midwest girl through and through. I'm originally from Ohio, but I got grown in Chicago, moved there at 17, and that's where my career really started. In terms of like figuring out storytelling and what that life was like, I feel like as a kid, I was a very avid reader. I loved reading. My parents were like banging on our one bedroom or our one bathroom in the house trying to get me out the bathroom as I sat there and just read book after book after book. And I feel like that's where my imagination grew. And I was able to explore more. I was a huge library head. So I would be in the library all day looking at books, figuring out the books. And I remember there was an ad for like a poster for like a community play at the library called like The Case of Two Detectives or something like that. And I was like, I'm going to go out for that. I'm going to do this. And I auditioned and I got the role of the bailiff. And that's the first memory I have of auditioning. And it was like, hear ye, you know, when I think back, I'm like, wow, that was actually my beginning.
I love the voiceover commentary, might I add. That, oh my goodness. I have a younger sister who does voiceover. So that
I love
voice,
it.
oh my gosh, was everything. Please keep going. I had to add that.
But yeah, I feel like that's where my creativity started. Like, I'm very grateful that I come from a very art forward family. My grandmother was a singer, but she didn't get to like really pursue it. So that was always there. My mom is a visual artist. Actually, one of her, if your audience can see, one of her paintings is like back here.
Oh,
That's
it's
her
beautiful.
from college. She's always like, why do you have that up? I'm like, it's cool. Like you were doing art. And yeah, I just feel like my family really instilled and supported me in the arts. So whether it was like taking ballet when I was a kid or tap or throwing me in piano, there was always something there to usually tell a story. In my case, usually in a physical way. I learned really early on the pen and the marker is not for me. I draw stick figures. So I know how to storytell visually and performing arts wise. So yeah, that's where I feel like I started. And then after high school, wanted to go further. Originally wanted to go to New York. And my parents were
Oh,
like, we are not letting our 17-year-old child from Ohio just jump up and go to New York. So
oh,
Chicago was a great compromise. Perfect. I had my grandmother is originally from there, so I had a little connection of family there. Had grown up going to Chicago, so I knew the world of Chicago, but didn't know what it could bring in terms of my life and career and how I call that home now too.
yeah.
But yeah, I started after college. I was like, I'm gonna do theater. I just wanted to get on the stage. I just wanted to sweep the floor at the Goodman Theatre.
I love that. Yes.
Do regional theater, classically trained. I trained in, I could do the Shakespeare. I could do the what you need.
What
Uh,
you need me for?
what you need me for. So I did that. I did a little theater for a bit, and then I kind of got bored and wanted to like train more. Meanwhile, I'm also working full time in nonprofit. So whole full career.
Right.
But then I jumped up and was like, I think I'm going to go train more. So then that's when I went over to England and get my master's in theater there. And was able to study in England for a couple of years and do shows. So that was an amazing experience. Because, don't get me started on my little rant about why British actors are
No, please,
praised.
because
Blah, blah,
that's a discussion. That's a
really,
discussion
it's
within
very
itself.
interesting because a lot of people are like, oh, it's because the British are trained more and they value and blah, blah, blah. But there is a whole contingent of American actors that have trained in England.
Mhm.
So it can't just be the training. It's like we have the same thing. It's not, it's something else. Which I think is just it's a little weird when you think about like, hey, these people are trained just as well as these people. So don't use
Mhm.
that as an excuse.
There we go.
Um, yes. So all that to say, came back. I went to the school of Steppenwolf. Was that before? Yeah, it was afterwards. Went to the school of Steppenwolf, which
Right.
I was so grateful to be taught by folks like Amy Morton, Jeff Perry started the School of Steppenwolf. Like there's a whole slew of folks there that are just brilliant and epitomize what Chicago theater is.
Right.
And I was very grateful to train under them.
Yeah.
And then from there, I ended up accidentally at Second City, which is where I really feel like I tapped
Hey.
into comedy more. At Loyola, I did a bit. There was an improv troupe we were part of, but it wasn't until I started working at Second City is when I was like, oh, this is fun. I like sketch. I like this
Love
kind
it.
of world. And really dug into my comedy side. Because
Mm.
like I said, I've been doing serious theater. I'm an actor,
Right.
trained actor. Uh, so then being able to transfer over to that was absolutely amazing. Um,
Yeah.
in the meantime, started collecting other things like, oh, I can do commercial work,
Right.
or
Right.
oh, I'm doing voiceover a lot. At that time, it was a lot of commercial voiceover. So
Mm.
really just expanding my toolbox in terms of what my world and career and life was shaping out to be.
For sure.
Um, and then yeah, 8 years, I think, 8, 9 years ago. It'll be almost 9 years. 8 years
Okay.
ago, I moved to Los Angeles and
Mhm.
started the grind again here.
Yeah, in a different market. Now, I have to ask. Oh my goodness, thank you for sharing such
Yeah.
a detailed breakdown of just the start and the whys, because I hear a lot in terms of guests and in terms of fellow artists like yourself. You can hear the why when they explain the journey and the starting off.
Yeah.
I would love to pick your brain because you are involved with sketch and comedy. Little did I know you have a very strong background in terms of dramatic being the actor. I'll
Yeah.
just quote you in the sense. What was that transition or stepping into that separate world of drama versus comedy? I know just in terms for actors, a lot of actors understand that there are two different worlds. There's, drama and then there's comedy. But for you personally, what was that transition like for you, if you could explain that?
You know, as much as I have done a lot of drama, I did just keep finding myself drawn to comedy, or being cast in comedy. So, you know, you kind of fall into it and then hone that skill. I would say instead of like drama versus comedy, I think like one of the biggest, because I do think comedy is uh, a little harder, but I do think my biggest like aha was learning theater etiquette and set versus sketch and improv world. Like
Love
I've
that.
been so theater trained, like you are analyzing your script, you are running lines, you are, you know, there's a what's your moment before? What's happening now? So you're going through all of that.
Right.
And then I get thrown in sketch. Quite literally, they cast me as an understudy. And they were like, hey, by the way, you're going on. So I had done that for theater and I was like, great. Where's the stage manager? What time are we rehearsing? Where's the other actors? And they go, oh no, here's your script. You go on tonight. And I was like, oh, this is different.
I love that.
This is okay. So I learned that there was a different etiquette, shall we say, when it
Right.
came to more traditional theater that I had been used to versus moving over to like a second city that
Yeah,
focused more on sketch and improv.
I love
So
that.
yeah, that was an aha moment.
I love that. I love that. And I think it's just important to understand the two worlds, mentioning that comedy is a bit trickier, but I feel like it just kind of fell into place for you. And with theater being your background, theater is the foundation of everything in terms of
Right.
branching out as an actor. So for you to, you know, step to the plate and ready to that, you know, it
Yeah,
wasn't, you know, you weren't new to it. You were true to it.
I was. It was like something that I had known and felt comfortable in, which is, you know, a lot of people they don't get that theater life, and especially in Chicago, where I think the best theater in the country is in Chicago,
Okay.
because it is rooted in work. It's rooted in the training. It's rooted in the story. It's not rooted necessarily in like who's going to see me and the fame. It's not
Right.
rooted in like, you know, I could be on Broadway. It's really rooted on like you being on the basements rehearsing from 3 to 10 with no light and no heat. And then you got to go outside and it's -5 degrees. That's dedication.
Most
Uh,
definitely.
so yes, for me, theater is like my roots. It's what I go back to. It grounds me. Um, and it develops me as an artist. It developed me as an artist.
I love that. I love that. Transitioning from theater, mentioning your credits before. I mean, NCIS, Shifting Gears, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, A Black Lady Sketch Show. Oh my goodness, all these shows people know and love. Having to be a part of these shows and transitioning from theater to film. Personally, what was getting into that world like for you? And in terms of auditioning, this is kind of a two-parter. In any of the projects that you have
Yeah.
booked thus far, what was the major takeaway in terms of the audition process? What stood out to you most in any of the projects that you've done that you can relay and share for viewers watching? Actor edition.
Yeah. I think in terms of like the transition, uh, there was a bit of probably like some hiccups, and I'm very lucky because I was in Chicago, so grounded and trained in theater. So then when TV came along, which usually in Chicago, that's the form of Dick Wolf series. So
Right,
Med, PD, Fire. I was on
right,
Chicago Code. You know, there's like there's a world
right,
there. So it's kind of everyone knows that world, so it's like it's nice to have other people that understand. Like most people here are theater, but we can get the occasional Chicago Fire, Med, PD, whatever,
right,
or The
right.
Shy, or you know Empire, whatever is filming there. So everyone kind of knows what world you're in. So that I think helps in a transition. I don't know how I would have fared had I honestly come out to LA earlier. I don't know. Uh,
Mm,
I think timing is everything, and everything is
most
done in
definitely.
its own time. So thinking about how one, I came out to LA when I was older, I wasn't in my 20s, and coming out grounded within like my craft, I think it just made it easier. I knew, yes, there are specific tips and tricks. Theater's bigger, TV, you're here, you're smaller, quote unquote. But there are still things that I think I draw from theater that I put towards all of my television auditions because that's just who I am and I can't help it. I've never been just a like totally quiet actor. Like I come from theater. This
is who I am.
who I am. Lends itself to why I probably do more comedy because it's bigger. And that's where I feel comfortable. But yeah, so I think it was more of like I had a safe space in Chicago in terms of transitioning from theater to TV. I forgot the second part of your question.
It was in terms of the projects that you have booked thus far and any type of, not so much advice, but any takeaway moments from booking the role. That's where I'm trying to hit to,
Okay.
in terms of the audition process. From any of the projects you booked thus far, were there any takeaway moments that you would like to relate or share that could inspire a fellow actor or actress listening to us?
Yeah, I mean, one of the big things I think about is how I used to try to guess what casting wanted instead of like showing them me and like, yo, this is what you go get. This is me. Instead of like putting on an air. Yes, you put on a character because you're developing a character, but show them the character that you are going to show them, respectful of the parameters, obviously, of the script or whatever, or the show. You're not going to do NCIS with the vibes of like Abbott, so fitting in the parameters of that. I would just say, honestly, as cliche as it is, like you have to just stay true to who you are, which I think takes time because it takes time for you to know who the hell you is. So
there we go. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. That was beautiful.
It takes a beat.
Oh, sorry, that was good. Sorry, that spoke to my spirit. Sorry.
You gotta know. You gotta know.
Good. That was so good. That was so good. Oh my goodness. Please continue on. I felt like I cut you off.
No. Yeah, I feel like that's the biggest thing. Like the biggest takeaway for me is like just knowing who you are in the moment and who is your character. What would your character do? Yes, I'm very grateful that with my theater training, and you can do this with any training, that you are analyzing a script. You are doing the homework. You are figuring out, I love dramaturgy. So for me, that also means like figuring out the world of the show. What network is it on? Who's this casting director? Who's directing it? So as much information as possible to build and develop what you want to bring to the table.
Most definitely. Oh my goodness. I want to highlight real quickly, without getting too in depth, your Deadline article that came out in terms of oh my goodness. It's so amazing to be able to met you at Sundance, to have seen that Deadline article and just be totally captivated and transfixed, to be like, wow, I want to pick your brain. And then I definitely want to ask you this one specific question. Just becoming a series regular in a gist, that's every actress's goal in terms of being in this industry. But of course, without sharing any specifics about the show out of respect, ultimately for you, what has this moment meant for you in terms of your career and in terms of what you've strived for? And listen, if you start crying, I'll cry with you. Because it's a beautiful, beautiful journey to listen to, but also to see it recognized. It's another thing as well. So I'm sure you can answer that better than I can ask.
I'm still digesting, and I will be digesting for a while because I probably have worked in this one. I've been in the industry for over 20 years, but I think I probably due to Chicago theater, you just keep working. And you don't give yourself a moment to reflect, and you don't give yourself a moment to breathe about your accomplishments because you're thinking about the next one. I mean, honestly, I'm still thinking about the next. I'm like, okay, great. What's the next series regular? What we doing next?
That's building, though. That's building. That's amazing, though.
But it's so important, I think, to take a beat to be like, okay, look what we're doing. Look what we did. Look where we are. Look where we came from. Especially thinking about the fact that like I used to do shows for like a slice of pizza, I was like, y'all paying in pizza? Boom. Booked
You got me signed, sealed, delivered.
spaghetti on the weekends. Oh, this is in.
Right.
So coming from that, which I'm also grateful for, it made me realize how every experience builds to something like this. My years, I worked, like I said, in nonprofit for over 10 plus years. I was working in Chicago public schools. I was running around to different neighborhoods in Chicago helping coordinate programming. So during those times where I'm running around full time in my job, then running to an audition or sneaking off to an audition or asking my boss, can he help me with lines for an audition, which thank you. Shout out to all my old bosses that would hook a sister up and be like, yeah, let's run lines real quick.
Readers or just people who could just come, at a quickness. We thank you for your time and dedication. Please.
Or my coworkers that would cover for me when I'd be like, hey, I can't get there on time because I'm on set.
Right.
Shout out. Appreciate you. But all that to say, to audition and for Jury Duty season 2, and then finally get the call like, yes, you booked it. It was like, there was a relief, like, oh, it's okay. We're doing it. Because there is a need. We're actors for validation. And there is a need to be like, am I on the right path? Is this right? So for me, though I'm set in my art and I know my skill and I know how talented I am, there was something that still wanted to hear like, hey, we want you for this show. We want to see how you can shine. And that's what Jury Duty 2 booking that really meant for me. Especially, I mean, I'm over 40. Like a lot of my friends booked their series regulars when they were like in their late 20s, in their 30s. And I'm like, I'm not. But it was a reminder of just like, it's all in God's time. Right. God, Allah, Jesus, Buddha, whoever you believe in, is all in that timing versus like your own. And every little step leads up to what your big hope is or what you're having patience for. I feel like my middle name should be Patience. In this
Talk about it.
I'm like,
talk about it.
Be patience. And I'm very grateful that I do have that gift. Because having patience is half of the battle in this industry that's constantly telling you no, or that you're not good enough, or not yet. So in the meantime, that patience has then built to me creating other avenues in my artistry. But it feels amazing to now be like, hey, I have a deadline article out that says that I'm a series regular in an upcoming show. So yeah.
Oh, flowers. I'm not there with you, but flowers. Oh my goodness. It's just so beautiful to hear that. And patience. I mean, I say this, patience is a virtue. Not everybody has it, but I appreciate the selflessness that you have in terms of knowing what's for you is for you, because comparison is such a real thing. Being in this business and seeing other people succeed at this age or in this season of their life, and it causes you to question yourself. These are all human characteristics, all human things that we go through, but to still persevere, to still know that your time is coming, that's just such a universal inspirational note that outside of the industry anyone could take away. So I send you flowers and I praise you for talking about that, because that's the realness.
And I think I will also give credit where credit's due. Like, I have a circle that is so supportive that I can't stop, between my fiance and my co-creator Danielle for #booked and my mom. Like, there's so many people every step of the way root me on that I have no choice but to be like, oh, this is supposed to be for me.
Right. And that support system is so crucial and important. And I would love to finally talk about #book. When I tell you, looking back, I remember first seeing both of your videos and just gravitating it to, comedy is such a universal language. Anyone
Yeah.
can gravitate to it. But in terms of just highlighting being a Black woman in this industry and just the difficulties that we can face, but also the haha moments that we can relate to, chef's kiss.
Oh,
Absolutely genius. I was
thanks.
just like, wow, to see the growth, to see how both of you, being the co-founders, yourself and Danielle, are just absolutely dominating the industry and just really walking about it, in a beautiful way. But I would just love to pick your brain in terms of how did that world begin of #book, your relationship and dynamics with
Yeah.
Danielle, and just how did it curate to be what it is today?
Yeah. So honestly, though #book started in LA, I would say we started in Chicago because that's where we met and that's where we became friends.
I
So we
love
were
that.
both understudies at the Goodman Theatre. We were doing a Lynn Nottage show, by the way, meet Vera Stark. And at the Goodman, the rule is if you're an understudy, you cannot leave the theater until your character says their last line. So for Danielle and I, our characters said the last line in the show. So we were there the whole time, and they put you up in the basement in like a dressing room where all the understudies share like one room. So it was me, her, Danielle Pinnock, Leroyce Hawkins, who is on Chicago PD as Atwater, who's been on that show forever, who's brilliant. We all stuck under in the basement of the Goodman Theatre. Just we knew our lines by now. We knew what to do. So you're just there waiting in the wings, essentially. And that's honestly where we would start like sketches or start doing ridiculous things or just start talking about our dreams and start talking about we had nothing else to do. So talk about life. And I think that solidified our relationship and it solidified how we saw each other in terms of work and sisterhood and business. But fast forward, she moved to LA first. I was still in Chicago. I did a show in Singapore, came back and was like, I think I'm ready to move to LA. She's like, all right, girl, come on. So came out to LA a year or two after her. And we were all just waiting for auditions. We're
Oh,
like, you're just waiting and you're like, what's next? And that's when one night, like, I swear it was like over a bottle of Jameson and a broken iPhone. She's like, let's do it. Let's just record the ridiculous audition you had. And that's how it started. And we were like, wait, this is funny. Let's just keep going. Both of us had been Second City trained or had gone through Second City. So I think it was helpful to have universal language there too. Both of us went to get our a degree in England. So we all had,
wow.
I know both of us are British trained. So we had that in common as well.
Wow.
So I think all those commonalities, we knew that we'd be able to work together because we all bring different strengths,
Yeah.
to it. Which I think that was the key, the fact that like, yes, we're both strong in our craft and we're both strong in what we want to say, but we
Yeah.
bring still different strengths to the work that we're doing. So yeah, that's how #book started. And we just started posting and we were like, oh wait, people are watching this. Oh, that's weird.
What you think was
No, never.
go
Like,
ahead?
honestly, it still weirds me out because I'm like, oh wait, people really watch me online? Oh, that's crazy. I
People
was
really recognize me? Like,
it's
oh, it's so beautiful.
Danielle, I remember Danielle calling me like early in the days of #book, and she's like, "Girl, I was on the CBS lot, and somebody stopped me for #booked." I was like, "What? People are watching this?" So it still is like, "Oh wow, we did that. We did
Yes.
thing." And yeah, what a journey! Like we are a little busy now to like continuously put out sketches in that capacity because we were working. But we're still working together. We have a adult animation that we're co-creating that hopefully we will move to the next level. But yeah, we still have projects in the works that's my creative buddy.
I
So
love
she
that.
stuck with me and her.
I absolutely love your dynamic. There was a little moment of like I heard Danielle through you, just like hearing the tonality of the voice. I think that's so hysterical, and the dynamics between you two. It shows so well. So I had to mention that. I was like, I can
Yay.
kind of sound like Danielle. Is
That's
Danielle
hilarious.
here?
Yeah, I mean, as long as we've been friends now, what, 2013, something like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, I know her, she know me.
To say the least. Oh my
Exactly.
goodness. And this segues into just the topic, and I feel like it's just a push of needing to create, and as a creative we wait around for opportunities, but when you create something on your own, it's a different type of I don't want to say hunger, but it's a different type of passion that comes with it. And to be recognized for your work, I mean, in terms for your bio, BET, Forbes, like people are recognizing you. I
Yeah,
hate to say outside of the acting world, but this is something you
yeah,
birthed and created that coexist with it, but it's something you solely own, and ownership, that's key.
exactly. Ownership.
Um, yeah, I mean, speaking from there, to have created something of this magnitude, and mind you, it's still growing, it's can still evolve and grow. Um, Manifesting in a sense,
Yes,
where do you desire to see hashtag book grow into? I know you mentioned animation, but just taking a moment to expand the mind, and maybe when you come back in a few years, we can, reconvene to see if
exactly.
all these coming true.
It's still in our head. It's still a show. Hashtag booked is still a show. It's still, that comedy duo, the Lucille Ball and Ethel.
Yes.
Um, it's still there. It's still there. So I think in a few years when I come back, that's what we'll be talking about, a show running our comedy show. Because yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But yeah, in the meantime, it's so great to be able to create it. That experience made me understand that I was allowed to create outside of what I was told. It made
Mm,
me go like, "Oh wait, you can do yes." Because I think it was also the beginning of like influencer quote unquote days. So I was like, "Well, I'm not an influencer. I don't know what you're talking about." Blah blah blah. But utilizing a platform such as Instagram or TikTok or whatever you want to use in order to share your art is just as valid. And it goes to, like you said, ownership and creativity. A lot of people ask me, like, well, how do you know what you're putting out is right? Da da da. I'm like, I don't, is probably wrong. And sometimes I got to take a break and walk away and be like, okay, that was a lot. And that's fine too. Like, I don't see any harm of putting stuff out there you don't know. Even videos that, I put out now personally that I'm like, I don't know. I sometimes keep them up because I swear in a year, somebody else watches it and they're like, yo, that was hilarious. Or I know people that have watched my videos and I've gotten auditions because of that. Or, our meetings or generals because of a random reel that I have done. So yeah, I think it's so important, ownership and the creativity of such, to just help keep your juices flowing.
most definitely. And I mean, it's working to get work based off of the content you put out there, even though you're questioning yourself if it's even
Yeah,
good or people will watch it. Like, it's just everything coexists and flows in timing. And of
exactly.
course, everything aligns to where it's supposed to go. And I think that's so
Exactly.
crucial and important, just the importance of creating. I love
Uh,
it. I can listen to you talk all day, honestly. Honestly, I just feel so creatively fulfilled. I
oh,
just enjoy hearing
yay.
people's whys. Yeah, you're doing fantastic, girl. I love hearing people. Oh man. I mean, in terms of, just because I want to make sure I cover everything that you do, because it's going to be more in the future, of course, most definitely. You have a podcast as well, which
I
I
do.
talked about earlier, but I it's such an interesting topic, and I don't want to give it away without you explaining it.
Yeah.
Cultivated, right?
Yes. Black and cultivated.
Yes. Oh my goodness, please talk about the spark of how that even came to play in terms of podcasting world and getting involved in that, and also that topic in particular. Can you please
For
talk about that?
sure. Absolutely. So I would say pandemic-y time. I really was churning out some scripts, which, gave us time to do so. And it really honed in my writing skills because I was like, I'm just an actor. That's all I do. And then I was like, wait, I can write too. And hashtag book helped to flourish that. So I'm like, oh, I have to sit down and write. And what does this look like? So I started doing that for myself as well and was like, all right, what are the stories that I want to tell? And one of them came out of the fact that I was born and raised in a doomsday cult. And I wanted the story of a little girl that realizes that her family was in a cult. But I wanted it as a comedy because I'm like, this shit's wild. So I wrote a coming of age story where a little girl who named Lena discovers her and her father are in a doomsday cult. And the chaos that ensues afterwards. And it starts because she wants to go to the Valentine's Day dance, but that's considered evil. So it's
Oh my God.
on that. And from that, I did want to pull from my own upbringing. And I needed to remember, honestly, some stuff. There was some stuff that I clearly had blocked. So I wrote out a whole bunch of things that happened in our doomsday cult. And then I started talking to former members. I started talking to other people. I was like, hey, am I crazy? But did this happen? So the more and more I talked to these people, I was like, yo, there's stories in this. And it's not fair that their stories haven't been shared if they want to talk. Wow. And then I started talking to other people that were like, wait, you're Black. You were in a cult? And I'm like, yeah, Black people do that too. We can do cults as well. Thanks. That's allowed. So talking to other people that were like shocked that somebody Black was in a cult, I was like, oh, there's this stigma. And that stigma doesn't help anyone heal. Because if you're scared to say it, or if you're scared to talk about it, or you're going to be shamed because you're Black in a cult, then we don't get to heal then either. And I want to heal. Healing's cute. So I was like, what about the other Black and brown people that have been in high control religious groups or cults? Where is their outlet? And I searched and I couldn't find anything. And so I called a couple of friends that I went to church with that I had already talked to. And I was like, hey, I think I want to do a podcast about this. Wow. Would you officially be interviewed? And they were like, hell yeah, I've been wanting to talk about this.
I love that.
And then I put the call out and I was like, hey, I'm looking for Black and brown people that have been in cults.
Right.
To be on my podcast. And I got a slew of folks. It was very important because I've been sticking in comedy for a while. It was very important that I did it from a comedy lens. So I wanted people that could talk about their healing in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming. Because that was one of my complaints. I listen to a lot of podcasts and a lot of them, I ain't got no Black people when they talk about cults. And number two, it's so overwhelmed and consumed with everything that's tragic. And yes, that deserves the light too. But what is the light at the end of that? What's the healing? What's the ridiculousness that we can laugh about now? Right. That's what I wanted to tap into. And thus I created Black and CULTivated. Yeah. And we dropped season 1 last year. It was a labor of love, and I have an amazing slew of guests from not just my church, but cults all over, which was really cool. So a lot of folks have been like, wow, it's really cool that you're talking to Black folks about this, because we don't talk about that. That's white people shit.
Exactly. No, seriously. I'm captivated, by the premise of the podcast and just the underlining story. I mean, in terms of being a Black woman, no, I have never been in the world of a cult, but to know that there are platforms like yourself that are highlighting that, it spikes my interest. I mean, right off the bat, it's definitely one of those type of podcasts that it's just a world you didn't know. And it opens your lens and it allows you to understand like, oh, well, one, not everybody experienced the same thing I did. Let's start there. But also there's a whole nother world that people are experiencing, and that within that world, other people are experiencing that as well. Exactly. And to think that way and to be expanded mindset wise, oh my goodness, this sounds like gold. And for it to be a comedy, chef's kiss. Oh my goodness. Like, who would have thought?
I'm proud of what we did because it was one, a labor of love, but two, I do feel like I brought to light stories that don't get told a lot. And
Yes.
as an artist, that's my ultimate goal.
Oh
So
my
I'm very proud.
goodness. Yes. Yes, you should be. Oh my goodness. Where can people check this out? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
So if you're a visual person, you can go on YouTube and look for Black and CULTivated, and you can see them all recorded. And shout out to Kevin Fredericks, because he see what had happened was he posted about Black people not being in cults, and a lot of people tagged me. And Kevin has been very supportive since hashtag book days, like had our back. What do you need? How can we help? You're funny, blah, blah, blah. So supportive. He a real one. And I DM'd him and I was like, yo, Kevin, I saw your clip about cults. I was actually raised in a cult. So Black people are in cults. And then I said, hey, by the way, your studio, I know you have like a podcast recording area. What is that to rent? Because at the time I said, I'm only going to do them at my home. We go save money. But I was like, out of curiosity, how much is it to rent? So he told me, and then like he got back to me an hour later and was like, but I believe in this story and I believe in Black women. So I will let you have my studio space for free for your first season so you can record. So it makes me cry every time. I cry every time I think about that. Because for him to do that, like I had a professional podcasting studio, I had engineers, I had people there helping me. It looks beautiful. So now, no matter what happens to it next, I have this beautiful collection of work that came about through some amazing people. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. Huge shout out to Kev on stage, first of all. No, oh my goodness. Oh, already loved him. Just gave me my 999 reason to love him more. Oh my goodness. But wow, what a beautiful representation of just lifting other creators up and being able to extend the hand to join at the table. You know what I mean? That's just that's so beautiful. That's what it's about. Thank you. Yes, that is what it's about.
Exactly.
So I have a fun little this or that game that I want to play. Yes, it's going to be pretty quick, rapid fire style. I ain't going to give you too long to think about it.
Let's go.
Hence rapid fire, but I'm going to give you a series of this or that, and you give me an answer. We don't got to go into why, but if you got to justify your reasoning, feel free to do so.
I'm down.
All right. This is pretty straightforward. So here we go. We're going to start with contender number 1, self-tape or in-person auditions.
Self-tape.
It was a self-tape.
Self-tape.
Some hesitation there. Okay. This might be okay. Are we talking early call time or a night shoot?
Early call time.
Oh, okay, quick. All right. Are we talking indie film sketch, output film/sketch, or a studio production?
Studio production.
Oh,
my indie. Love my indie.
She said, put me in the studio.
I come from theater. I've done enough indie. I've done my time.
I love that. She said, somebody give me a trailer.
Art and a trailer. Give me some crafty.
Give me all the Sour Patch watermelons in one bowl, please.
Give it to me.
Yes. Okay, this is a little tricky, but in terms of your background, I think I know the answer to this, but in terms of your background, theater, or are we talking film?
Theater.
So you always go back to theater, huh?
Theater.
If given the chance, would you go back for theater?
If the pay was right.
Say less.
If they wanted to pay.
Oh my goodness. I love that. Now, all right, I'll wrap it up with this one because you've been going through. Behind the scenes, this can go in terms of producing or in front of the camera, being the lead.
In front of the camera.
And
I do love directing, and I do love voiceover, but my gut is in front of the camera.
I love that. Oh my goodness. I see you as a producer. I see the director's cap. Like I can see you.
And I have, and I do, and I like it, but I like in front of the camera.
I feel you. I feel you. I gravitate towards that. But who knows what the future can unfold? I could see one of your films, produced by #booked and
You never
directed
know.
by, you never know. And then I could sit there and be like, I told her. I told her. But oh my goodness, in terms of just this interview, you've been such a pleasure. I have 2 more questions for you before we officially conclude. I would love to pick your brain in terms of any industry professionals you love to work with. That's a very general question, but I believe in terms of just navigating this industry, we all have people we look up to or people we want to work with, alongside with, collaborate with in a sense. But is there someone tugging on your heart that you would love to collaborate with, work with on set?
Honestly, anybody Black.
Not the Issa Rae.
Look, I love what we do on set. I love stories. And I know that's general, but I just love Black people. So I just want to work with us.
Yes.
Thrive with us. I want to have those experiences. One of my favorite, most memorable experiences was being on a Black lady sketch show, because it was a production that was majority women and majority Black. And I come from the old school days where you go on and you're like, well, I know I'll probably have to do my own hair and makeup because no one else can do it here. And I remember bringing all my hair stuff on set, and I get inside the trailer and it's all Black women. And I almost cried. And I remember the girl was like, girl, what you got this stuff for? I was like, you don't know what it was then.
You don't know the trenches I had to go through.
So honestly, just get me somewhere Black.
I feel that. It feels like it's very much giving. Who are you rooting for? Everybody Black. Everybody Black. And I appreciate that. Oh my goodness. You're hysterical. Oh my goodness. I've honestly been laughing and my cheeks hurt. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. All right, Maji, keep it together. But to conclude this beautiful interview, I've learned so much about you. I'm so privileged to have this conversation with you. Here at Aspire to Inspire, we really truly emphasize the why behind your passion and how you desire to use your platform to inspire others. So in my parting words to you and to conclude this interview, how do you desire to use your very own platform, multiple platforms, might I add, to inspire those around you?
I think just showing all the flaws, showing the journey, because it's not a breakout star. It's rarely is someone a breakout star, but showing the real journey of everything. So I think just being confident in that journey will take you somewhere.
Yeah, so well said. I love it. It's like a little cherry on the top to conclude this. You're so inspirational. Oh my goodness. Please, 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 let's stay connected. And for our people watching or catching on this on social media or YouTube, this podcast will come out very, very soon. Also on Apple Podcasts, might I add. We'll have this audio here for you as well. But as always, thank you so much to our fantastic guest. And for viewers who are watching, always stay tuned for additional guest speakers. We always have someone inspiring, but nonetheless, this was definitely an interview to beat. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. And stick around for a little bit, but we'll officially conclude here.
Thank you.